Cassidy. Welcome to my channel. That is so exciting to say. I am an aspiring author. I have been writing since I was 12 years old and I'm now 25, and I am a self-proclaimed being the key word here, retired Wattpad author. Yes, I was on Wattpad at the same time as the term bad boy was in the name of every single book title, and after was still a fan fiction. So if you were also a part of that era, let's be friends. But I think that tells you enough about what kind of genre I like to write, which is romance. Who would have thought? The reason I've created this channel is because I am finally ready to start taking myself more seriously as a writer. I am extremely insecure and shy about my writing. Trains going by. As I was saying, I am extremely insecure and shy about my writing. The thought of anyone reading my writing makes me want to crawl inside my skin, and the thought of people I know reading my writing, that cut the cameras.
I'm done. Cut the show.
But if my dream is to be a published author, which it is, I kind of have to get over that fear. And what better way to do that than to make a YouTube channel and post videos about my writing for the whole world to see, really. A little bit about my writing journey and my writing background. Like I said, I've been writing since I was 12 years old. I have always loved writing romance. Me and romance were just like this. I think in my life I have finished one book, I know for sure. And maybe in my Wattpad days, I know I did a few short stories, but those were like really short stories, probably not even 500 words. I don't know, I'd have to fact check that because 500 words sounds really short for a story. But anyways, I know I at least did a few short stories, and I'm pretty sure I finished one book on Wattpad. Me and my cousin used to write on Wattpad. We were working 9 to 5 like Dolly Parton, putting out those chapters and hoping every day that we'd blow up on Wattpad, and unfortunately we never did. But I think we were ahead of our time because the book was a hockey romance with the fake dating trope. And look at all the popular books right now, hockey romances. I rest my case. We were ahead of our time. I think we did finish that book, and then we tried to write a few more books, but I don't think we ever finished any of them. And then during COVID, when we were on lockdown and really the only thing to do was stay at home and write, which I loved. I honestly took it for granted, but I did take advantage of that time and I finished a whole book. I was in love with that project. I was so passionate about it. It was a paranormal romance and I worked on it for a really long time. I wrote that book during COVID. It was the first draft. It was pretty bad, if I do say so myself. I took a break from writing. About 2 years ago, I got back into it and I started working on that paranormal romance again, but unfortunately it didn't make me feel the way it made me feel when I finished the book originally. I did decide to shelve it. If I wasn't excited to write the book, then I probably shouldn't waste my time on it. Right now, I am really excited about the project I am working on currently, and that is the reason for this video. We are going to be outlining the current project that I'm working on. It is a romance with elements of suspense, mystery, and thriller. I'm not sure exactly what kind of genre I would categorize it as, or subgenre I should say, because it's definitely a romance, but there's some themes of thriller in there because thriller is also another favorite genre of mine. I haven't decided yet how much I want to talk about the project and exactly what it's about because I have a fear of my idea getting stolen. As if it's anything really that grand, I'm gonna refer to the project as Project Miles. Like I said, it is a romance book. How many more times am I going to tell you that I like to write romance? I think you get the point. It is going to be dual POV, meaning I am writing from the female main character's point of view and the male main character's point of view. And there's going to be a timeline in there. There's going to be, I'm not sure if it'll be dual timeline or a linear timeline. Right now I'm thinking linear timeline. It's going to start when they're kids, or when they're in high school, I should say. We will follow those two characters on their journey in high school and everything they went through. Jump a few years to like college age, and then we'll jump into a part 2 where it'll be years later in the future, and we'll see where they're at in their life right now and how they get back to each other, because it'll be a second chance romance. Now, I will say, as you can tell from the title, I have already written 10,000 words of this book. And you're probably asking, why are you deciding to outline the book now? The honest truth is that I have always been a pantser. I have always just liked to think of an idea and start writing a book. And that's how I've been doing it pretty much my entire writing journey. I tried to plot the last project I was working on, the paranormal romance, but I couldn't deal with it. I didn't have patience for it. And that's probably why I decided to shelve it, because I had no idea where I was going with the story. Now, fast forward to this project, I decided maybe I should try outlining. Wrote up a Google Doc, outlined like half the book, less than half the book, maybe 12 chapters. And I got excited. I couldn't wait anymore. I couldn't plot anymore. I just wanted to write. So I wrote the first 10,000 words with the help of the outline that I had already written. And much to my dismay, I found that outlining actually really helped. Who would have thought?
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
That's the number one piece of writing advice I have seen everywhere. Everyone was right. And now I'm trying to outline the rest of the book. But we're gonna do it together because this channel is also another way for me to hold myself accountable to outline the book, write the book, and finish the damn book. So my plan is we'll go into my Notion, I'll show you some notes I have for this project, and I might show you the outline I have of the first 10 chapters. Like I said, I'm not sure how much I wanna share of the story yet, so we'll see. And then I want to make a Spotify playlist because I feel like having a playlist that encapsulates the vibes of your book is so much more motivating for writing. And then maybe I also want to make a Pinterest mood board. And I also want to get the Save the Cat novel writing book because I've seen a lot of people talk about that book and I am interested to see if that would help me because, like I said, I'm a pantser, so any direction I can have from someone with credibility, I need that. So we're gonna do all of that together and I am so excited. Let's do it. Now that the workday is over, I am going to lock in and I'm going to show you what I have so far in my Notion and my Google Doc notes. I'm not the most organized person, or I am organized, but like in an unorganized way, but it works for me. I know there are a lot of software tools out there that are specific for writing, but they all cost money, the ones that I've seen at least. So right now I'm using Notion and Google Docs because they're free. I am showing you my Project Miles outline. Like I said, I'm very unorganized, organized, so it might not make sense to other people, but to me it does. And this is the reason why I want to get the Save the Cat novel, to see if that helps me with how to structure my outlines or format them. Editing Cassidy here. I screen recorded my outline for the next few minutes of this video, but unfortunately when I put it into Final Cut Pro, it just didn't work, which may be fortunate for you because honestly my outline is a mess and it's kind of embarrassing, but I think I talked through it well enough that it's easy to visualize what's going on, and it's only for the next few minutes. Once I get into my Notion and we make the Spotify playlist and Pinterest board, then you will be able to see my screen. So please bear with me the next few minutes. Hopefully I explained things enough for you to understand, and I apologize. And yes, I'm using another browser to hide things because I don't know how deep I want to get into what the story is about yet. I've outlined in the linear timeline right now because I'm leaning more towards doing it as a linear timeline than a dual timeline. Obviously title is to be determined, genre romance. I should put in here too that it's a subplot mystery slash thriller slash suspense, because I'm not sure exactly how to categorize it yet. Then we have some of our tropes, which some of the tropes are really specific and kind of spoil it, so I'm not showing those. It's for sure gonna be a second chance romance, leaning towards a linear timeline, and I know that I love a good love confession in the rain scene in any type of book, so I know that I want to add that one into my book. Just the thought of writing that, I'm like giddy, I can't wait. And our two main characters is going to be Ella Mitchell and Miles Hunt. I'll show you in a second on my Notion that I've already started kind of like a character storyboard to keep track of my characters. And then the rest of the document kind of follows that same format. I go into kind of the summary, what ideas I have for the book, and then it's broken down by chapter, and I just have bullet points of how I want the chapter to go. So now we'll switch gears into my Notion, and I'll link the templates that I'm using down below because none of them are mine. They're free templates that I found on the website, and I am a total newbie to this website, so I'm sure there are ways that I could better utilize it, but for now, this is what we got going on. So I have this Project Miles characters kind of storyboard, and so far I've only entered in 3 characters. Obviously we have Ella Mitchell and Miles Hunt, who are our main protagonists, and then I added Conrad Lawrence because he's kind of part of the core main characters, I would say, but he comes in during the second part of the book, and he is kind of a love interest. Spoiler, not really. And I've added these pictures from Pinterest because I think it kind of goes with the character's personality, hobby, career. And if you click into the character, then it opens up kind of this whole thing where you can enter in their details. Obviously right now I've only added name and role, but I am going to go ahead and add in some more details about the character. So I'll check back in with you once I am done with that. Okay, I'm back, and I just finished Ella Mitchell's character card, and this was a lot of fun. I thought I knew Ella, and I do know Ella and the character I want her to be, but putting it all down on paper. So I will show you a little bit. I didn't add much on the physical description, not yet at least. I'm still figuring that out, I think. I do know that she has, or at least I've written her to have brown hair, brown eyes. And then we have age. So in part 1 of the timeline, she's 16 years old when she's in high school. And then part 2 of the timeline, I think she's gonna be around 28. I haven't decided entirely yet, but she is gonna be closer to her 30s. And up top in this row here is backstory. Now some of it is kind of like spoiler type things, so I don't want to show it. Emotional wound. She lost the 2 people she loved most in the world, and her greatest fear is losing the people she loved. Misbelief. People think she's weak because of what she went through, but she's actually a survivor. This was really fun. I highly recommend that you check this template out. I definitely do not remember certain traits about my character if I don't write it down in a way like this. Like, I can put it in the book and then never mention it again because I just forget. Sometimes it's hard to keep track. So the next thing I want to do is create a Spotify playlist and create a Pinterest mood board. But I'm gonna do those on my phone because I feel like I just like the look of Spotify and Pinterest better on my phone, and Pinterest takes a long time to load on the desktop. So that's a lot of explaining for why I want to do what I want to do. So let's just get into it. But first I want to create a Pinterest mood board with the vibes of my book, and I created this Project Miles board. Right off the bat, I know that this book starts in the fall, so I want to look up fall aesthetic. It's also set in a small town, so I'm adding anything that looks like it's fall in a small town. Ella and Miles also have a spot, like they have their own spot that they run off to. So I definitely want to add some pictures that remind me of that kind of vibe. There is a pretty big chapter that takes place on Halloween, so I want to add some Halloween images. Like I mentioned, this book has some elements of mystery, suspense, thriller, so I definitely want to look up some mystery aesthetic photos. Is it weird to add aesthetic after everything? Looking up mystery aesthetic, this was more the vibe. And then I also want to add this one because the project is called Project Miles, and the main character's name is Miles, and when I think of Miles, I obviously think of driving, and when I think of driving, I think of the road. So I want to add this one. All right, at this point, I am 34 pins in. I kind of got carried away and I was just pinning everything, but I am very happy with this mood board. I think it definitely does encapsulate the vibe that I'm going for. I personally think it's giving small town with an unsolved case vibes, which is the vibe I'm going for. Now I'm moving over to the Spotify playlist. So I'm going to title it Project Miles, and I also want to add the composition notebook emoji. I'm not sure why I am choosing that emoji specifically, but It's just calling to me for some reason. So it's already recommending songs that I know that I want to be in this playlist, probably because I am listening to them already as I'm writing. I definitely want to add more Taylor Swift to this playlist. So Tortured Poets Department, I'm gonna add Loss of My Life. Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, for sure. Okay, so I have about 2 hours of songs saved and I'm pretty happy with the playlist I've got going right now, and I'm definitely gonna add more as I go on. But I'm really excited to write to this. Some of these songs I'm like, oh my God, yes, like yes. When We Were Young by Adele, that's a good one. Now I wanna change the playlist cover with an image I just pinned on Pinterest. All right, I'm gonna use this one because I feel like it fits the vibes of the book. Perfect. Yay, Spotify playlist is made, mood board is made. We went through my outline, my rough outline. So now I want to outline the rest of the book and kind of polish up the outline I already have, which is why I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble and get the Save the Cat novel. I don't know what the name of it is, but you know what I'm talking about if you're a writer. And hopefully that will help me plot out the rest of the book. All right, I will see you when we are on our way to Barnes & Noble. New location unlocked. We are in the car and we are heading to Barnes & Noble to get the Save the Cat novel that I've been talking about this entire video. Finally gonna go get it. It's a Friday, so hopefully this weekend I can really dig into the book and see if it can help me outline my book, which that is my goal for this weekend, to start outlining the rest of the book. And I brought this cute bag because I feel like if you're going into Barnes & Noble, you need a cute tote bag. Isn't that so cute? I got this in author mail. An author sent me her book and I'll put it on the screen. It's called A Liar's Twisted Tongue. It's a romantasy. I haven't read it yet, but the description sounds really good. I was so excited. I actually did an unboxing on my TikTok. I do have a book talk, but it's basically fan art from the book and he is holding up a knife to her throat. And I know my romantasy girls love that trope. Well, yesterday's Barnes & Noble trip was a complete fail. I did not find the book. It said on the website that they had the book, and when I asked the employees for help, they couldn't find it either. So I felt bad making them run around the store, so I just gave up. They had a few Save the Cat versions, but it wasn't the one I wanted. So unfortunately, I did not get the book. But if you sign up for Jessica Brody's newsletter, the author of Save the Cat, she actually sends you like a Save the Cat starter kit, and it comes with a beat sheet. So I printed out the beat sheet and I'm actually gonna jot down notes on it using pen and paper because I think sometimes writing stuff down, like literally writing with a pen, helps me better understand and visualize my work. And I'm gonna listen to the Project Miles playlist while I do it. I just finished writing the Save the Cat beat sheet and I am actually so happy. I feel so fulfilled doing this. I don't know if that's cheesy to say, but I seriously loved this exercise and now I see why people plot. It was so nice to write everything out, even if it is in chicken scratch. My handwriting was not very good. The ideas were just flowing, so I was just going as fast as I could. This definitely helped me and I think I'm ready to start writing the outline for the second part of the book because now I know how I want it to go. The last prompt of the beat sheet is the final image and writing out how I want the book to end and how I kind of want it to come full circle and what I want the last sentence to be. It makes me giddy and I just love writing, so I'm very excited about this. I can't stop saying that I'm excited. checking in here, it is now almost 9 o'clock and I have worked on part 2 of my outline. I will say I definitely feel refreshed, and I randomly decided to do a 1-hour writing sprint because, like I said, I just get impatient with outlining, and I have to also be writing at the same time because I get too excited and I just want to be in the story. And I'm actually very proud of this chapter. I just felt like the creative juices were flowing, and 1-hour sprints are the best way for me to stop overthinking what I'm writing and just write. And I wrote 867 words, which I am so proud of. That really doesn't seem like much, but as someone who works full-time, it's very hard for me to write more than 1,000 words in a day for some reason. So when I get close to 1,000 words, I'm a happy girl. And that is going to wrap up the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck around until the end, I truly appreciate it. With this being my first video, I hope it was good. I hope I made sense. I am not very eloquent in the way I speak. I'm better with words on paper. I feel very accomplished after filming this video. I feel like I learned so much, and I am definitely ready to get to the second part of the book, but I definitely have some things I still want to do in part 1 before I can actually move on and write the second part. But I do feel better about where this book is going, and I am so excited for the journey that I'm going to have on this channel. I think it's going to motivate me a ton. I felt really productive this entire week, and even though I didn't end up getting the Save the Cat Writes a Book novel, hopefully I will be able to secure it sometime soon. I still feel like I got a lot done with the beat sheet. Again, thank you for watching, and comment the composition book emoji if you made it all the way here. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.